Hi, everyone. This is a quick video that talks about how you can use an if statement in an Agent.ai agent. And in case you're wondering why you would want to use an if statement, there are often cases where as you are going through the workflow in your agent, you might reach a place where, depending on the condition, you might want to go down path A or path B or path C, or depending on how many paths there are. And you don't want to execute all the paths, you might want to execute one or another path. And so when this happens, the best way to do it is to use an if statement, because then the if statement takes a condition and it says if this condition is true, then go down this path. Else, if this condition is true, go down this path. Else, go down this path. And so the example that I'm going to show you to make this real is basically a very, very simple research agent. So let's say I want to know why the sky is blue, and I want to now uh, send this to an LLM, and then I'm waiting for the LLM to give the response. And let's say that I want the user to be able to pick which LLM they want to use. So somebody might want to use Google Gemini, somebody might want to use OpenAI, and somebody, let's say, wants to use Cloud. And so if you want to do that, the best way to do it is, after you've asked the question, then you give the person the option to select which LLM they want to use. And so this is where you can now see, depending on what they select, I want to go down different paths. And so let's say they select Anthropic Cloud. And then when I hit go, now what will happen is, what you want it to happen is that this flow should take it through the part where Claude will do the research and then return the responses. While if I had selected Gemini, I could see so you can see here it's a research by Claude, and here's a detailed summary of why, and again, this is kind of how Claude does that. So if we want to now look at what that agent looks like, um, if we get to the actions page, you'll see first thing, this is the first uh, question you saw. Enter the topic you're interested in. You know how the text works. This is how a drop down works. So I have my three options here. So far, so good. And now what I'm trying to do is, this is the part where in Agent AI, when you go to run process, you have that ability to add this thing called if else statement. And what this basically says is your conditional statements that evaluates to true or false. And then if it's just an else statement, leave it blank. And so what I am then doing here is saying if out underscore LLM, which is the value that the dropdown is selected from, stored in, is Google Gemini, then go down this path. And this path, what I'm doing, I'm basically saying use Gemini to go research this particular topic and generate a response, and that is stored in out underscore response. Else, what I'm saying is if, so if you select this else statement, then you get else checkbox. Then what you get is if my LLM is Anthropic Claude, then I want it to go down this path where I'm basically saying select Claude, but the rest of it is the same. It's the same prompt that I'm giving. I'm just changing the LLM. And then what I say is that if you select and then say that it's actually an else statement and you leave this blank, then it is kind of the last else statement as opposed to an else if. So if, else, no conditions match, then it goes here. And so the key here is, depending on what you select over here, else statement with nothing means it's an else statement. Else statement where you actually put something here is an else if. And if you don't select the else, then that's the first if statement. And then you put the end if else for statement. And so that's, again, you go back here, run process, there is the end, and this is the end of the if clause. And then after that, I just output the research and show the response. And that is how you do an if statement in Agent.ai.